Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem and here is the news. For 552 days, Ukraine stands strong against the forces of the Russian invasion. Yesterday, Ukraine marked the day of remembrance of those who died fighting for Ukraine's independence. President Volodymyr Zelensky said in his evening video address that it is now Ukrainians' duty to be worthy of the path Ukraine is on, to give Ukraine more strength, more opportunities. Quote, and always bring the result closer, the main result for Ukraine. Ukraine must prevail. This is the main thing for everyone, so that we do not have to look away from the photos of the warriors on the Wall of Remembrance and other memorials, unquote, stressed Zelensky. He thanked everyone who works for Ukraine, who fights for Ukraine in this way with dignity, courage, and strength. Russia conducted a large-scale attack against Kyiv, reports Radio Liberty. According to the local authorities, it has been the largest attack since spring, with over 20 different targets downed by the air defense. The Russians used both missiles and drones that tried to reach the city from different angles. At least 2 people were killed by the debris that fell on the territory of an enterprise, 2 more were wounded. A fire occurred in another part of the city where debris fell on a mall. We would really appreciate if you could rate us, ideally with 5 stars, in the apps where you are listening to this podcast, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and others. This way more people would learn about the podcast and truth about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Russian media report that 4 Il-76 military aircraft were damaged at the military airfield in Pskov, northern Russia, as a result of a drone attack, reports NVUA. Local authorities only confirmed that the attack took place and claimed that there were no victims. Another drone attacks were reported near Moscow and in Crimea. The US announced provision of another package of military aid to Ukraine worth $250 million, reports European Pravda. The new package includes AIM-9M anti-aircraft missiles, HIMARS missiles, 155 and 105 mm artillery shells, mine clearance equipment, javelins, and other anti-tank systems and missiles, as well as more than 3 million rounds of ammunition for small arms, ambulance cars, and explosive ordnance for clearing obstacles, spare parts, funding for services, training, and transportation. Pentagon spokesperson Sabrina Singh assured the media that currently envisaged funds are enough to provide support to Ukraine until October, when the next financial year starts. Today's episode is slightly shorter as the team didn't have much sleep, all due to the drones and missiles attacks. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We're a commercial initiative of just 2 people, and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.